You said this place couldn't break you. That's what she said. Let's see.
You're so strong. You're so strong. Just no. I know.
What is up, everybody? Jeremy Eisenfire here, and welcome to the channel. With the long-awaited release of the teaser trailer for From Season 3, fans are already speculating and theorizing as to what could be happening in the third season. And today, I wanted to discuss a very interesting fan theory that has been developing in the chats. The theory of Fatima and her monster baby. Ever since we found out that Fatima was indeed pregnant in Season 2, fans have been wildly speculating that there could be something more going on with Fatima's pregnancy, maybe even a supernatural element. And now I think there is even more evidence pointing to there could be something very strange going on with this pregnancy. But first, we need to talk a little bit about the entity and what exactly its endgame was. In Season 2, we saw how the townsfolk of Fromville were plagued and terrorized by this weird cicada worm-like entity that Boyd unwittingly brought back to town. And while Boyd did manage to seemingly defeat the entity by destroying the music box and saving Julie, Mari, and Randall, we were still left with many questions as to what exactly the entity was after. But we do get a few subtle hints that could potentially point to what it wanted. If we look back to the dream where Kenny had the hot cicada jump on his arm and wakes up with the burn mark still present, and then we think about the scene between Sarah, Kenny, and Boyd out in the forest when Sarah was directly communicating with the entity itself. The entity stated that it got excited that it touched Kenny's arm, seemingly that it was excited that it was finally able to interact with someone in the real world, because up until this point, the entity only had power over people in their dreams. And could this potentially have been the entity's real endgame? Was it searching for a physical form to manifest in the real world so it could finally potentially escape Fromville? And if that is the case, how exactly was the entity planning on manifesting itself in the real world? As I imagine it could not conjure up a physical form out of thin air, but maybe potentially it could find the perfect vessel. And here is where Fatima's baby comes into play. In Season 2, when Boyd was still infected with the worm-like parasites, his son Ellis unfortunately gets stabbed and is in dire need of a blood transfusion. But naturally, Boyd does not feel comfortable giving his son his own blood while the worm entities are still present in his body, which is where we get the part of Boyd trying to pass the worm entities off to Smiley, leading to the death of one of the most beloved monsters on the entire series. But just what exactly do we know about this worm parasite that was in Boyd's blood? This is an extremely foreign entity. Are we to correctly assume that all of it left Boyd's body when he infected Smiley? Or could there still have been a little bit of trace left in Boyd's system? And if so, could that in turn have been passed on to Ellis during the blood transfusion? And if so, could Ellis have gone on to pass this on to Fatima in some way, shape, or form, either due to copulation or any other means? It seems that Fatima originally conceived before the transfusion took place, but that's not to say Ellis couldn't have passed something on to Fatima after she was already impregnated. After all, we know next to nothing about this worm-like parasite and what it's capable of. And seeing as Ellis was already up on his feet walking around and painting the very next day after he got stabbed, it stands to reason he was in good enough health to potentially do the deed. Could this potentially have been the entity's real endgame the entire time? Could the cicada infection of Julie, Mari, and Randall all been one big ploy just to lure Boyd back to that place so he could destroy the music box, maybe freeing the entity even more? Could the entity have been using Fatima's baby as a vessel to be born into the real world the entire time? I suppose anything's possible in Fromville, and especially if we think back to Ellis's dreams that he has been having as well, where he keeps having a reoccurring dream of the baby being born with fangs and claws. Maybe this wasn't a dream at all, but a premonition. Which of course is something that the townsfolk of Fromville are no strangers to, as there have been no shortages of dreams, visions, and talking with otherworldly entities. And after getting a look at the Season 3 teaser trailer, it seems like the Fatima giving birth under monster captivity in the barn with Boyd seems to be a very popular fan theory that is gaining traction. Could the monsters be there to witness the birth of the entity in the real world? Could this have been the true endgame? After all, the creepy nurse monster from Season 2 is present in the barn with Boyd and whoever else is being held captive. But definitely let me know down in the comment section, do you think the entity is truly gone, and could it potentially be using Fatima's baby as a vessel? But that is going to do it today for this tinfoil hat theory, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit a like on your way out, and consider subscribing to stay up to date on all of our future content, and don't forget to come and hang out with us live every Sunday night for the Fromville Hour. And I have recently noticed all of the comments you guys have been leaving about not getting notifications for all of the videos and live streams. And unfortunately, YouTube does tend to unsubscribe people at times, or even change their notification settings. So double check and make sure you are still subscribed to the channel, and double check and make sure that bell is clicked to all notifications. And of course, a big thank you to everybody who has supported the channel. But until next time, keep those tinfoil hats on, folks, and I will see you on the next one.
It's all just a dream.
What if all this was designed just to see how we react?
What if this place is trying to torture me?
What if the people these monsters are killing, what if they're all in on it? What if this is all some kind of fucked up experiment?
What if the answers are out there, maybe we just didn't go out far enough?